Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thanks for joining us. First, the headlines. Fubara, loyalists shun local government polls as Governor eyes comeback. Senator backs bill to decriminalize attempted suicide. PDP eyes consensus option at National Convention. APC wins 20 local governments, PDP 3 in Rivers Council polls. Abia State-born Nigerian beauty queen Onyinyechi Basil emerges winner of the 2025 Miss Universe Nigeria. On business news, Nigeria's gas production hits daily average of 7.59 billion SCF. On the foreign news, UK removes over 100 job roles from foreign recruitment to curb migration. And on sports, Dennis contract terminated by Nottingham Forest. Now the news. The suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his supporters were conspicuously absent during elections on Saturday into the chairmanship and councillorship positions in the state. Fubara was not seen in Opobo local government area where he hails from, though the election took place on a limited scale. Sources told newsmen that the governor was not present in the state. Some notable supporters of the suspended governor, such as the chief of staff to the government house, Edison Ehie, the secretary to the government, Dr. Tami Danagogo, the sacked 23 local government chairmen, and others, did not also turn up for the election. Members of the Simplified Movement, a socio-political organization loyal to Fubara, were not also seen anywhere near the voting centers. When electoral materials arrived at Fubara's unit in Ward 5, Opobo, in Opobo, Nkoro local government area around 11 a.m., there were assurances that the embattled governor, who had recently mended fences with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, his political godfather, would participate in the election. However, till voting concluded in the area around 3:30 p.m., Fubara did not show up to exercise his constitutional duty. As of the time of filing this report, it was gathered that the suspended governor, who is expected to be recalled to office on September 18, did not return to his Opobo hometown for the election. A source said Fubara had traveled to London and did not return before the scheduled election. Recall that on March 18, President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State following a protracted political crisis between Fubara and Wike, who had the majority of the state lawmakers on his side. The senator representing Cross River South Senatorial District, Asukwo Ekpeyong, has reaffirmed his commitment to advancing the suicide prevention bill currently before the Senate. The bill, which passed its first reading in February, seeks to decriminalize attempted suicide and establish a comprehensive framework for suicide prevention and mental health support in Nigeria. The senator reaffirmed his commitment in a statement released, signed by the convener of the Suicide Prevention Advocacy Group and Continental Representative for Lifeline International, Taiwo Sheikh. The senator made this known when he received members of the Suicide Prevention Advocacy Working Group, a coalition of psychiatrists, mental health practitioners, legal experts, civil society organizations, and advocates. They paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja to appreciate his sponsorship of the bill and to brief him on upcoming activities ahead of World Suicide Prevention Day on September 10. According to World Health Organization, every year 727,000 people take their own lives and many more people make suicide attempts, and suicide is the third leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds. Speaking during the visit, Professor Sheikh, convener of the coalition Continental Representative for Lifeline International and former president of the Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, said the law criminalizing attempted suicide has become a major barrier to help seeking in the country. He explained that the proposed bill will not only seek to expunge punitive laws against attempted suicide, but also provide for service delivery, funding, training, helplines, and data systems to strengthen prevention and response mechanism nationwide. Responding, Senator Ekpeyong commended the coalition for its advocacy and acknowledged the underreported nature of mental health issues in Nigeria. The senator assured the group that he would champion the bill when it comes up for second reading, pledging to work with his colleagues to ensure robust debate backed by strong data and evidence. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno, commiserated with the family of a young mother and newborn who who died after a cesarean birth at the General Hospital, Ikotekbene. This is contained in a statement signed by the Commissioner for Health in the state, Dr. Ekem John. The plight of the young woman, whose identity remains unknown, came to the fore in a video that circulated on social media. In the video cited on Facebook, a weaponed woman who claimed to be the deceased sister berated the hospital over alleged negligence. She alleged there were no doctors and the theater was unopened for over 3 hours as her sister suffered labor pain. She further stated that doctors later arrived when it was already too late, calling on Governor Eno to probe the incident. The commissioner disclosed that the governor directed him to immediately set up a high-powered commission of inquiry comprising medical and legal experts to establish the circumstances surrounding the tragic incident and recommend measures to prevent future occurrences. In line with the directive, the commissioner disclosed that he led a team from the Ministry of Health to the hospital at 12:10 a.m. for an on-the-spot preliminary inquiry and to obtain first-hand accounts from relevant stakeholders. John said the NO-led administration in the state remains deeply committed to safeguarding the lives of mothers and children. Senator Nwoko, APC Delta North, has called on the Anioma people in Delta to embrace their Igbo identity. Nwoko also called on them to join hands with Nigerians from the eastern part of the country in building a stronger and more united Nigeria. The Igbo unification movement and Indinasubia have in recent years become strong advocacy platforms championing the cultural, historical, and political unity of Igbo-speaking communities across Nigeria, including Anioma, Delta North Senatorial District, Igbanke in Edo, and other border areas. The group stated that reclaiming a collective Igbo identity was crucial to political strength, cultural revival, and correcting decades of identity distortion. The lawmaker, while commending the organizers for their courage and vision, said that the efforts aligned with his long-standing philosophy of Anioma identity and the need for an Anioma state to be carved out of Delta North. He said there is no argument about their Igbo identity as a degree holder in history. Nwoko, who had sponsored the motion for the creation of an Anioma state in the National Assembly, said the agitation was not about politics or personal ambitions, but about correcting historical imbalances. There's palpable tension in Abraka community, Ethiopia East local government area of Delta State, as soldiers chasing suspected internet fraudsters, otherwise known as Yahoo Boys, shot a pregnant woman dead. Indigenous residents and students went into a wild protest against the soldiers immediately the incident occurred. The soldiers' Operation Delta Sweep were said to have flagged the Yahoo Boys down, but they refused and zoomed off. Promptly, the soldiers began chasing and shooting sporadically until a stray bullet hit the pregnant woman, who was on her own. The woman was said to have died on the spot even before she was rushed to the hospital for rescue. Stakeholders in the People's Democratic Party (PDP) are considering consensus to pick officials in the party during the Ibadan National Convention in November. The objective is to avoid a repetition of the conflict and disharmony sparked by the 2022 presidential primaries. The situation is largely blamed for the party's loss of the 2023 presidential election and the massive defections of top members, including 2 state governors to the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). Some other notable members of the PDP, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former Senate President David Mark, have switched to the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Highly placed sources in the PDP said the National Executive Committee, NEC, and state governors elected on the platform of the party have agreed that they should give no room for further frictions if the party must move ahead. The party is also open to having Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and his supporters fully back in the fold following recent disagreements over some issues. The All Progressives Congress has won 20 of the 23 local government areas in Saturday's chairmanship councillorship elections. The ruling party in the state, the People's Democratic Party, on the other hand, won only 3 local government areas in the poll conducted by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Governor Siminalayi Fubara also lost his Opobo Nkoro local government area to the main opposition party in the state. The RCEC chairman, Dr. Michael Ode, announced the result at the commission's headquarters along Abba Road in Port Harcourt on Sunday afternoon. Abia State-born Nigerian beauty queen Onyinyechi Basil, representing Miss Anambra, has emerged winner at the 2025 Miss Universe Nigeria Beauty Contest held in Lagos. Onyinyechi, alongside 21 other beauty queens, slugged it out from the onset of the competition before advancing to the grand finale with 9 other contestants. In the final stages of the competition, she slugged it out with Damilola Bolarinde, Miss Lagos, to emerge victorious. The Abia State indigene Onyinyechi Basil has succeeded the former title holder Chidinma Adesina, who won Miss Universe Nigeria 2024. She will be representing her home country, Nigeria, at the 74th Miss Universe Beauty Pageant scheduled to hold Friday, November 21, 2025, at the Impact Challenger Hall in Park Kret, Thailand. The Sokoto state government has rolled out new measures to strengthen Islamic propagation and support clerics across the state, including the introduction of monthly allowances for imams, their deputies, and muezzins, as well as direct cash allocations to Jumaat mosques. Governor Ahmed Aliyu announced the initiative at the graduation ceremony of 111 memorizers of the Quran from the Sokoto branch of the Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi Foundation. The governor explained that his administration has placed Islamic propagation as a top priority, ranking second only to security in his 9-point SMART agenda. Governor Ali reaffirmed his government's commitment to creating an enabling environment that will encourage Quranic memorization among children, stressing that it will help nurture a generation that upholds Islamic teachings in line with the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad. He also directed the school management to identify land for the establishment of its permanent site and forward the proposal to the state government. At the event, the Sokoto state government, through the Ministry of Religious Affairs, donated 20,000 naira in clothing materials to each of the 111 graduates. The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, commended Sheikh Dahiru Usman Bauchi for establishing the foundation and praised the role of scholars in promoting Islamic ideals, and peaceful coexistence in Nigeria. Vice President of the Republic of Colombia, Francia Marquez, arrived in Abuja for a 3-day official visit aimed at strengthening bilateral ties between Nigeria and Colombia. Mrs. Marquez, who was accompanied by her spouse, Mr. Rafael Yenepinino Ochoro, touched down at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, where she was warmly received by senior Nigerian officials. The visit, which marks a new chapter in Nigeria-Colombia relations, is expected to deepen diplomatic and strategic cooperations across multiple sectors. According to a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communication, Office of the Vice President Stanley Nkwocha, discussions covered governance, trade, agriculture, energy, education, and security, among other top priorities. The Colombian Vice President is accompanied by cabinet ministers, senior government officials, and private sector leaders who will hold bilateral engagements with their Nigerian counterparts. A major highlight of the visit will be the signing of several memoranda of understanding in critical areas such as women empowerment, trade, aviation, agriculture, manufacturing, and culture. Other key events which held included a plenary session with both vice presidents, the Nigerian-Colombia Business Forum, government-to-government bilateral meetings, and high-level business engagements hosted by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Investment. The state women leader of the All Progressives Congress APC state women leader, Ms. Kudiratu Fakokunde, lamented that female members of the party were shortchanged by wife to Osun State Governor Mrs. Titilayo Adeleke in the distribution of business support grant to women initiated by the First Lady of the Federation, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. No fewer than 200 businesswomen across the 332 wards benefited from the grant to boost their trades and businesses. The gesture conveyed under the Renewed Hope initiative of Mrs. Tinubu was done in partnership with the Tony Elumelu Foundation to empower the grassroots women across the country. Speaking during the presentations of the grants to the Osun women at Tinubu Shetima Campaign Office, Osogbo, Mrs. Fakokunde applauded Mrs. Remi Tinubu for the initiative, stressing that it will go a long way toward encouraging women to be active contributors to their families' livelihoods. However, she lamented that they were shortchanged by the First Lady of Osun State, Mrs. Titilayo Adeleke, who deliberately reduced their slot, despite her pleas that it should be increased to 250 over 300. Imo State Governor and Chairman Crude Oil Theft and Management Committee, Hope Uzodinma, says the committee is collaborating with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to boost crude oil production. According to him, the aim is to increase crude oil production to 3 million barrels per day in line with the target set by President Tinubu. He made this known while speaking to newsmen in Abuja after a closed-door meeting with the governors of oil-producing states. Top officials of the NNPCL and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC). Uzodinma noted that oil production figures were already showing signs of improvement. The governor explained that the meeting was convened to receive briefings from the new leadership of NNPCL and NUPRC. He also lauded the president for his leadership and recent reforms in the oil and gas sector. The Nigerian Association of Nigerian Professional Footballers (NANPIF) has commended President Bola Tinubu for signing a bilateral air service agreement (Basil) with Brazil, a move anticipated to significantly enhance air travel between the two countries and unlock extensive opportunities for Nigerian sports professionals. CSP Chijoke Kalu Erim, Director of Player Safety and Security at NANPIF, stated that the agreement, signed during Tinubu's recent official visit to Brazil, could revolutionize Nigeria's football through strengthened collaboration between Brazil and South American football institutions. According to Kalu, improved connectivity will facilitate players' exchanges, technical partnerships, and greater competitive exposure for clubs in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Beyond talent development, Kalu emphasized that Brazil's experience as a host of major global tournaments, including the FIFA World Cup and the Olympics, provides a wealth of knowledge that Nigeria can leverage on. Kalu, who also serves as a board member of the Nigerian Mixed Martial Arts Federation, highlighted the broader sports implications of the aviation agreement, including in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts MMA areas in which Brazil is a global leader. ComfortTV.channel news returns shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. On business news, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) has announced that Nigeria achieved a significant energy milestone in July 2025. A gas flaring dropped to 7.16%, while daily gas production rose up to 7.59 billion standard cubic feet per day. The simultaneous increase in output and decline in flaring underscores the Commission's commitment to boosting production while advancing its 2030 zero-flare target. Nigeria's gas industry has recorded steady growth over the past 3 years. The July 2025 daily average of 7.59 BSCFD represents an 8.58% increase compared to the 6.99 BSCFD recorded for the full year 2024 and a 9.84% rise over the 6.91 BSCFD posted in 2023, reflecting a sustained upward in gas production. Despite rising output, gas flaring has continued to decline, falling to 7.16% in July 2025 from 7.55% in 2024 and 7.38% in the corresponding period of 2023. On foreign news, Abu Obaida, the spokesman for Hamas armed wing, has been killed in an airstrike in Gaza City, according to Israel. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz congratulated the Israel Defense Force (IDF) and Israel's security agency Shin Bet for the flawless execution in a post on X. He gave no detail on the time or location of the operation, but the IDF earlier said its aircraft attacked a key terrorist in the Al Rima neighborhood, prompting reports in Israeli media that Obaida has been the target. Hamas had not confirmed his death. However, the Palestinian group earlier said dozens of civilians were killed and injured in Israeli strikes on a residential building in the district. Katz warned on Sunday that many more of Obaida's criminal partners will be targeted with the intensification of the campaign in Gaza. a reference to a recently approved Israeli plan to seize control of Gaza City. Separately, the IDF and Shin Bet offered more details about Saturday's strikes that targeted the Hamas spokesman. They said in a joint statement that the operation had been made possible due to prior intelligence gathered by Shin Bet and the IDF's Intelligence Directorate that had identified his hiding place. 5 missiles struck the second and third floor of the 6-story apartment building simultaneously from 2 different directions. The targeted flat had been used as a dentist's surgery. Witnesses reported hundreds of thousands of dollars flying into the air because of the strike, with large sums stolen and later recovered by Hamas members. Obeida was among the few remaining senior members of Hamas's military wing from before its deadly 7 October 2023 attack on southern Israel. The joint statement said Obeida served as the public face of the Hamas terrorist organization and disseminated Hamas propaganda. The leaders of China and India say there is now deepening trust between them after years of tension that includes a long-running border dispute. China President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO in the port city of Tianjin. It is Modi's first time in China in 7 years. Xi told Modi that China and India should be partners, not rivals, while Modi said there was now an atmosphere of peace and stability between them. Russian President Vladimir Putin is also at the summit, attended by more than 20 world leaders, which this year has been overshadowed by trade wars with the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has imposed steep tariffs on Indian goods as punishment for Delhi's continued purchase of Russian oil, and Putin faces threats of sanctions for his ongoing war on Ukraine. As the U.S.-India relations faces increasing headwinds, Modi is moving closer to Xi. Both countries are not only the most populous but also have 2 of the largest economies in the world. Modi announced that flights between India and China, suspended since deadly troop clashes on their shared Himalayan border in 2020, would resume without providing a timeline. Xi also said both sides need to approach and handle relationships from a strategic height and long-term perspective, as it's the right choice for both sides to be friends. The British government has unveiled immigration reforms blocking foreign workers from filling more than 100 job categories in a move aimed at reducing net migration. The Home Office, in a statement posted on X, said the decision was geared towards creating more opportunities for local citizens while restructuring the visa regime. More than 100 occupations become no longer available or eligible for overseas recruitment, opening up more jobs for British workers. A fairer skill-focused system is now taking shape, according to the Home Office. This policy will mark the latest immigration clampdown on the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, who assumed office on July 5, 2024, after Labour's sweeping election win that ended Rishi Sunak's tenure. However, the measure has drawn criticism, with opponents warning it could deepen staffing shortages in critical sectors such as healthcare and social services. Included in the list are delivery operatives, beauticians, hairdressers, air traffic control assistants, army officers, and construction operatives, amongst others. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement has arrested a Nigerian man, Theophilus Anwana, who was convicted of second-degree rape in Baltimore, Maryland. The Baltimore Field Office of ICE disclosed this in a statement released. According to the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, Anwana had been sentenced to 20 years imprisonment in Bel Air and has been under a final order of removal since September 2021. U.S. immigration arrested the Nigerian man, and he is taken into custody thanks to the hard work of the ICE. Nigerian national Theophilus Anwana, who had been convicted of rape, was arrested August 29. He has a final order of removal and will stay in custody and will remain in ICE custody. On sports news, Nottingham Forest have terminated the contract of Nigerian international Emmanuel Dennis, according to news reports. The Tricky Trees made the announcement on their official website. Dennis spent the second half of last season with Sky Bet Championship club Blackburn Rovers. The 27-year-old managed just 1 assist and 6 appearances at Airwood Park. The versatile forward joined Nottingham Forest from Watford in 2022. Bielsa Queens will face USFA of Burkina Faso in the semi-final of the WAFUB Women's Champions League. The Prosperity Girls finished top of Group B following a 4-1 thumping of Sam Nelly of Benin Republic. White Obunda side have now scored 9 goals in the competition and conceded twice. USFA finished in second position in Group A behind ASEC Mimosas of Côte d'Ivoire. The encounter between Basil Queens and the USFA will hold in Yamoussoukro on Tuesday. ASCC and Police Ladies of Ghana will clash in the other semi-final. The encounter between Bielsa Queens and USFA will hold in Yamoussoukro on Tuesday. Still on sports, the Blues' 2-0 win over Fulham was overshadowed by an apparent hamstring injury to summer signing Liam Delap, with no natural striker on the bench to replace him. This was because Nicholas Jackson was in the process of flying to Germany to agree to a loan move to Bayern Munich after clearly falling away from the starting spot at Stamford Bridge. It has been said that Jackson is not happy with Chelsea after the club elected to cancel the proposed move to Bayern, forcing him at this stage to return to the Blues. With him likely to still not be at the starting point, it can be believed that he's going to take some convincing to play a part for Chelsea where required this season. Chelsea is not allowing Nicholas Jackson loan, but it could be permanent. A lack of loan replacement means permanence being explored. Inquiries have been made for Conrad Harder of Sporting CP and others. And that's our news bulletin for today. But before we go, here is a recap of our stories. Fubara, loyalists shun local government polls as Governor eyes comeback. Senator backs bill to decriminalize attempted suicide. PDP eyes consensus option at National Convention. APC wins 20 local government areas, PDP 3 in Rivers Council polls. Abia State-born Nigerian beauty queen Onyinyechi Basil emerges winner of the 2025 Miss Universe Nigeria. On business news, Nigeria's gas production hits daily average of 7.59 billion SCF. On foreign news, UK removes over 100 job roles from foreign recruitment to curb migration. And on sports, Dennis contract terminated by Nottingham Forest. Thanks for watching. For breaking news and exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed.